Guys, please stop refreshing my channel page like crazy. I know you're waiting for my Nevsky testings and I'm here to deliver. We have tested all the Nevsky combinations we possibly could in this first round of tests. Nevsky and Zhang Yu, Nevsky and Minamoto with the museum relic, Nevsky and Chandragupta, Nevsky and William, Nevsky and Genghis Khan, with Saladin, with Takeda, to provide you a first complete overview of this commander. I mean, our OV friends literally maxed out Nevsky on day one, without even waiting for the end of the Wheel of Fortune, and this because we were so curious to see how he performed. Before beginning, I need to thank our sponsor. Thank you Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. This is not the first time Raid works with me on this channel, and I really hope the ones of you who tried the game out are having a good time. You've probably already heard of Raid Shadow Legends. It's a massive game with tens of millions of downloads and a ton of champions, over 600 now, and an insane variety of bosses to fight. I want to tell you about one in particular, the new Guardian of the Void Keep, Malek Kavar. The main trick to defeat Malek is dealing with all the poison he spits out. It's a lot, and he has an ability that deals all the poison damage you can take all at once, which can nuke and destroy your entire team if you're not careful. His poison debuff cannot be blocked or resist, so you have two options: one, some shield buffs and healing to counter the damage, or two, just the ability to remove the debuffs directly. If you can clean the debuffs that Malek applies on your champions, you will be good to go. He does not have many other tools at his disposal. This is a clan boss, and one of the main and best aspects of Raid Shadow Legends is to fight them together with your friends. So make sure to join a clan and meet people as soon as you hop on the game for the first time. Another clan boss is the Hydra, which I told you about last time, and it's got a new rotation this month. Make sure you check it out. I will personally try to take it down with my favorite champions: Badalkazar, Fushan, Cupidus, Martyr, Septimus and Shirimani. Make also sure to check out the special Valentine's Day events coming on February 14th, where you can get your hands on a brand new legendary champion. This is a great time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description down below or scan the QR code here on the screen, you will get some free goodies. We're talking about a free epic champion, Aina, 200,000 silver, 1 energy refill, 1 EXP boost and 1 ancient shard to summon new awesome champions as soon as you hop in game. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Back to business. Thanks to my friends at OV, in particular to Zlody and another Alliance member who decided to change his name to John Wick just to troll me a little bit, we have a lot to talk about today. Nevsky is a cavalry, versatility and skill commander, but I will not waste your time to break down the details and the specific of this new commander, because I have already done it in another video, both for him and Bertram, which will be released this Sunday after the Mightiest Governor event will end. If you want to watch that video, I will leave a card up on the top. First of all, let's address two important points of my analysis that were still unanswered. A few players in the comments of my analysis video directly said that I did not understand shit about how Nevsky's skill worked. I never say that I have the answers in my pockets. When I express my thought process and my theories, I always say it can be, it might be, it's possible. I always leave a disclaimer that my theories need to be confirmed by the actual testings, and this is what I'm here to do. In particular, a couple players got literally pissed. I have no idea why, God help me, because of two things I said. Number one, about the active skill of Nevsky, Hero of Pipus, which other than dealing a ridiculous amount of damage, 2300 damage factor, also reduces the defense of the target by 15% multiplied by a maximum of 3, according to the number of marches swarming the target that Nevsky is attacking. The first impression could be that even if he is the only one attacking a target, he will apply a 15% debuff anyway, because 15 by 1 is 15. I thought for a long time about it, and even if Lilith's skill descriptions are not always known to be reliable, there is one word here, repeated 2 times, that made me scratch my head, and that is surrounding. One single march attacking another march is not the definition of a surrounded attack. Not in this game. It's not a swarm. That is why I said this in my analysis video. Will he apply a 15% defense debuff regardless of the fact that he's the only one attacking the target or not? Because by definition, 1v1 is not a swarm. So if I have to interpret the written words here, he will not apply the 15% debuff if he is the only one attacking the target. I will not be sure anyway until I test this mechanic out. I'm happy to report that my theory was correct. To prove this, let's attack any barbarian troop on the field with Nevsky as only commander, and let's check the battle log. On turn 8, he casts Hero of Pipus, and you would expect from the next turn for the debuff to be applied, and that is not the case. The debuff does not show anywhere, and that is true not only against a barbarian troop or against a player in open field, but also in a rally situation. Let's check one of the reports. This is Nevsky primary with Minamoto secondary. On turn 8, Nevsky casts Hero of Pipus, and on turn 9, you can slow down or pause the video if you'd like, the debuff has not been applied. This is another report with the same combo, but this time 2 marches are swarming Nevsky and 2 marches are swarming the garrison. Yeah, spoiler alert, every test we have conducted also had swarming marches on both sides, the rally and the garrison, to be as accurate as possible in exploring the commander's possibilities, especially because of Nevsky's active skill. Opening the battle log in this case, we can see that on turn 8, Nevsky casts his active skill, here you go, and on the following turn, Hero of Pipus effect is active and 2 other turns are left. So 3 turns according to the skill description. And there is a 45% defense debuff, because the marches swarming the garrison were 3, namely Nevsky's rally plus 2 open field marches. So this is the undeniable proof that Nevsky is counted only if the target actually gets swarmed, surrounded, so 2 marches or more. The same happens only with 2 marches, Nevsky's rally plus 1 open field march, which will still trigger Hero of Pipus and debuff 30% defense. To recap, only 2 possibilities are contemplated here for Nevsky's active skill, 30% or 45% defense debuff. 15% is not in the equation. Number 2, some players again just got mad at me for I don't know which reason, because I said that having Nevsky as secondary commander could be a great chance of buffing his own active skill thanks to his 4th skill, Knight of Iron, according to which, other than a permanent 25% extra skill damage which will be applied for the entirety of the battle, upon casting an active skill, another 35% skill damage would be applied for 4 seconds. A few people in the comments said, nope, you're wrong, this is like Cyrus's expertise skill, where he gains extra rage and extra attack and defense after he casts his own active skill, even if it's written an active skill, so a generic one and not his active skill. Yeah, this is part of why the skill descriptions are not always reliable, and I thought of that, but I also see here the word upon, and in the original Chinese as well, Cyrus's and Nevsky's descriptions were also formulated differently. Again, I don't trust 100% what I read in the descriptions, and all I break down in my analysis videos before the commanders are released are just my own theories and thoughts about the real possibilities of the commanders I speak about. I could easily be wrong, and I am sure I will in the future on similar debates, but luckily not in this case. If you check any report of Nevsky being secondary commander to any other commander in open field or in rally, let's take this Chandragupta Nevsky rally as example, you will see that after the primary commander casts his active skill, on the following turn, Knight of Iron will be active. And you can also read at the end of the turn, the primary commander casts his skill. This skill triggered Nevsky's Knight of Iron. Troops gain the buff Concentration. Takes effect at the start of the next turn, which we have already seen. This is out of the way now. This is the first testing video of multiple videos on Nevsky, and you will understand why in a bit. So I had to clarify these 2 points. Again, I am wrong all the time on all kind of stuff, and I learn every single day from each one of you commenting under the videos. I was lucky this time, so please feel free to leave a comment to point out anything you think it's relevant and especially to criticize what I am saying. But negativity over my theories, which I always say are just my theories, is not gonna lead the discussion anywhere good. Okay, first, all the testings here are with Zenobia and YSS in defense. Do not even bother to defend against Nevsky with something else other than Zenobia and YSS. He completely flipped the table with both Jadwiga and Amanitori. He just crushes Jadwiga and Amanitori, which does not happen with Zenobia, and I'm happy about that, to be honest. If you take the following pairings, Zhang Yu and Nevsky, or Nevsky and Zhang Yu, Nevsky and Minamoto, Nevsky and Chandragupta, he will win against every garrison, but in a 1 versus 1 situation. That's because the skill damage is so freaking high that if the situation is not analyzed with swarms or reinforcements, you will not get a clear picture about which commander can be used to to defend against Nevsky, you will just think, okay, Nevsky breaks everything, and that is not true. Other than the 1 versus 1 testings, you will mostly see testings where we had a controlled environment of 2 marches swarming the garrison and 2 marches swarming the rally. Let's start from the bottom one. Nevsky and Zhang Yu against Zenobia and Theodora. Hey, by the way, if you're enjoying this video, this took a lot of time, please consider helping the channel just by leaving a like and subscribing. It's 100% free and really makes the difference. The garrison almost lost on remaining troops. Of course, the trade is positive because you need to consider that the garrison was swarmed as well, but overall, the severely wounded are approximately the same on both sides. If you take the garrison alone against the rally alone, Nevsky and Zhang Yu wins. And the same happens with Zhang Yu primary, or if you have YSS as secondary commander to Zenobia instead of Theodora. However you want to flip the table, in a 1v1, Nevsky Zhang always wins. Here in fact we have the same combo against Zenobia and YSS, won again by the rally. So let's go on. Nevsky and Minamoto against Zenobia and YSS. Rally on itself, no big deal, pretty much wins against everything. In a swarm situation, 2 on the rally and 2 on the garrison, Nevsky loses. At the end, there has never been much anti-swarm technology on the cavalry commanders, with the exception of Attila and Takeda or Attila and Chandra. Nevsky and Chandragupta. I have not asked Slowdy to test this combo in particular, but I'm happy we did, and I also noticed that some of you asked of this combo in particular in the comments of the previous video. In 1v1, of course, Nevsky and Chandra wins against everything, but surprisingly, also if they are swarmed, they win. This is the only Nevsky combo that can handle a swarm and still manages to win against Zenobia and YSS. Please keep that in mind, but at the end we will make a recap anyway. Nevsky and William I. Alone, it struggles to win against the garrison. In a swarm situation, there is no chance this combo can win. Also, the severely wounded trait in this specific part of the report is probably one of the worst of all the Nevsky combo we have seen. So yeah, no, just no. Here we have another test with Nevsky and Minamoto. We have already seen this, so when swarmed it still loses. We go on. Then we have Nevsky and Genghis Khan. The skill damage here is so high that of course you expect them to win in a 1v1, especially if Genghis manages to activate his expertise skill a few times at the beginning of the battle. The trait is not very good, especially because this is a high skill damage march, and normally in 1v1 you should win the trait by a lot if you win the battle. This means that if we had stopped this rally halfway through, the trade would probably have been horrible for Nevsky and Khan, even if the garrison was losing in the troop remaining game. Then we have Nevsky and Saladin. The trade is not good, this is a swarmed rally, but the garrison almost lost. This is because Saladin can handle better the swarm, thanks, of course, to the skill damage reduction, and grants Nevsky the chance to nuke the garrison for a longer period of time. We tried that again, but Saladin did not win anyway. Nevsky and Takeda, no shot for this combo, just don't use it. The garrison will win. This is just another Nevsky and William. I know that this testing all revolved around Zenobia as a defender, but Nevsky really crushes pretty much anything else. The conclusion is this. Nevsky primary with Chandragupta secondary works really well among all the combos we tested. Another good idea is of course Nevsky and Zhang Yu, or Zhang Yu and Nevsky. We will test more very soon and try to invert the pairings, switch up the garrisons, play a little bit with the talent trees, but I think that there is already a lot of material on YouTube to watch, and this video kinda complements what you might already have seen around. If you have more testing ideas, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section down below. Even if I will not grant I will be able to test everything you ask, I will surely pick the best propositions and I will use them for another video on the topic. Or more than one probably. Thank you for being here. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao!